What's up, everyone out there watching this video? Thank you for watching. This is the Year in Wrestling 1995 Part 3 in my series of Year in Wrestling videos talking about WCW, some ECW, and WWF. First, I'm going to talk about some news items to come out in 1995. June 13th, 95, Chris Benoit wins New Japan's Pro Wrestling's annual Super J Cup tournament to become the Super J Cup champion for 95. And I think in 94, late 94, Chris Benoit was in ECW, or maybe it was 95. He was in ECW, whenever it was. He was in ECW before he went back to New Japan Pro Wrestling and won the Super J Cup. He tried to do a move where he threw Sabu up in the air. I don't know what he was trying to do, just throw Sabu up, and he thought Sabu was going to land on his back and tuck his head and tuck his chin under like you're supposed to do when you get body slammed. Well, Sabu got thrown up in the air by Chris Benoit and he landed on his fucking head and broke his neck. So after he broke Sabu's neck, Paul Heyman gave Chris Benoit the nickname The Crippler. And then in WCW he would use that also, and he was known as the Crippler Chris Benoit. And then in WWE, when he went there in 2000, he was known as the Crippler and then the Wolverine. So that happened on June 13th. Chris Benoit won New Japan's Super J Cup tournament. June 24th, 95, the Grand Wizard, former manager, old school manager in the 70s and early 80s in the WWF. Fabulous Moolah, the Grand Wizard, Antonio Rocca, Ivan Putski, George the Animal Steel, Pedro Morales, and Ernie Ladd are inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. That was June 24th. In July 12th, 95, WWF President Jack Tunney retires from being the president. He had no power in the WWF. He wasn't really a president of the company. He was just brought in to work, basically just do the gimmick of being the WWF's president. I believe he was a promoter in Toronto, was Jack Tunney, and the WWF just hired him to play a part as president. July 22nd, 95, the Ultimate Warrior wrestles his first match in more than 2 years in front of 2,000 fans in Las Vegas and defeats the Honky Tonk Man. So the Warrior would return to the ring. And that's all the news items that I got for now. And I'm not going to talk much about ECW in 95. You can watch a lot of ECW television on the WWE Network. They have the entire year of 1995, every single week of television. So there's probably 52 episodes of ECW Hardcore TV from 95 on the network. If you have the network, watch it and enjoy. It's some great stuff. ECW 95 had Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko in an epic feud, an epic series of matches that took place. You had 2 out of 3 falls matches. You had time limit draw matches between Malenko and Guerrero. They had an epic epic feud in ECW that happened in 95 before they got signed to go to WCW. And then also, you had the Sandman defeat Shane Douglas, and Woman would turn on Shane Douglas and become the Sandman's manager, and the Sandman would win the ECW championship, the World Championship. And he had a pretty long reign as ECW World Champion. Also, what started in 95 in ECW was the Tommy Dreamer Raven feud, which was epic. One of the greatest rivalries and feuds in wrestling history is Dreamer versus Raven. I don't know what month Raven came into ECW in 95, but it was probably after March or something like that. Maybe in February. He came in, he beat the hell out of Tommy Dreamer. They had bloody matches. A lot of matches that were bloody matches in the ECW arena. They also had matches in Florida that got hardcore and out of control. You had Tommy Dreamer taking weapons from the fans all the time and hitting Raven with a weapon. You had an epic feud between Dreamer and Raven that started in 1995 and it lasted until 1997 of June or July is when Tommy Dreamer finally defeated Raven for the first time. Raven beat Dreamer probably 30 times, maybe more. He beat him every single time for 2 straight years. It was an epic feud. I really enjoyed it. And it was some great stuff. And you can watch it on the WWE Network for just $9.99. I'll give them a cheap plug. WWE doesn't need my plug, but I'll give it to them. The WWE Network is great for an old school wrestling fan. You can watch old ECW on there. You can watch every pay-per-view you want to on there. They put out a lot of great original specials. And you can watch NXT. They have their specials. So the WWE Network, in my opinion, is well worth the $9.99 every month. I mean, I love it. But I love it because I'm a hardcore wrestling fan. So now, I'm going to talk about WWF King of the Ring. Also in ECW in 95, Cactus Jack was there a lot, and he was working full-time in ECW after leaving WCW in 94. And Cactus would have a lot of great matches with Terry Funk and the Sandman in 95. And then he would turn heel, and Cactus joined Raven. And Raven and Cactus feuded with Dreamer and Terry Funk. They had an epic hardcore brawl at the November to Remember 95. That is also on the WWE Network if you want to watch it. It's a bloody tag team war. Now, I'm going to get to WWF King of the Ring 1995. Happened. It was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and there were some ECW chants. If you listen closely, there were a lot of ECW chants during the finals of the King of the Ring tournament because the fans that were at the King of the Ring, I'm sure, were fans of ECW and attended ECW shows. So they were basically vocal, and they did not like the King of the Ring finals. So they started chanting ECW, and I don't blame them, because the finals sucked. In 1995, the finals of the King of the Ring sucked. But I'll get to that in a minute. And my thoughts on the 1995 King of the Ring winner. First match, in a King of the Ring qualifying match, to determine a replacement for the injured Razor Ramon, Savio Vega with Razor Ramon defeated IRS. So Savio Vega got into the King of the Ring tournament. King of the Ring quarterfinals matches. Savio Vega defeated Yokozuna by countout. So Savio Vega goes on. The Road Dogg defeated Bob, not the Road Dogg, the Roadie defeated Bob Holly in 7 minutes, 29 seconds. I don't know if that is a King of the Ring qualifying match or quarterfinal match. Shawn Michaels wrestled Kama to a 15-minute time limit draw in the King of the Ring tournament. So there would be a bye. Mabel defeated The Undertaker in 10 minutes, 44 seconds in the King of the Ring tournament. King of the Ring semifinals. Savio Vega defeated the Roadie. So the Roadie was in the tournament. Mabel received a bye because of the draw between Shawn Michaels and Kama. King of the Ring finals was Mabel defeating Savio Vega. And during this match, the fans were angry, they were pissed off, and I'm sure they were bored out of their skull, and they were just pissed off and angry because the King of the Ring 95 in the finals was not good at all. Mabel, as I said, defeats Savio Vega to become the 1995 King of the Ring winner. But the fans didn't care in Philadelphia. They were hardcore, great wrestling fans in that city. Still to this day. Fans started chanting ECW, ECW, as I said, during Savio Vega versus Mabel's finals. If you don't believe me, go back and watch it. Watch the finals of the King of the Ring 95. You will hear the ECW, ECW, ECW chants. In your house. No, not in your house. Talk about that next. Still, King of the Ring. Bret Hart defeats Jerry Lawler by submission in a Kiss My Foot match. Just really idiotic, stupid gimmick match. I mean, Bret Hart was a star. He was in his prime, and you're having him work in a Kiss My Foot match against Jerry Lawler. That was a fucking joke and really stupid. And I felt bad that Bret Hart even had to be in that match and in that feud. Nothing against Jerry Lawler. He's a legend, and I respect the man, even though he blocks me on Twitter for some reason. I think once on Twitter I made an old joke and said Jerry Lawler is getting too old to still be doing commentary, and WWE should get rid of him. That's all I said. So I guess he read that and he blocked me. I don't care. So Bret Hart sticks his foot in Jerry Lawler's mouth, and it was disgusting and idiotic and pointless and stupid. And then after the match, they showed Jerry Lawler in the bathroom brushing his teeth and throwing up. It was just god-awful. Up next was the main event. And it wasn't much of a main event. It wasn't exciting at all. It was pretty boring. Diesel was WWF champion. Diesel and Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid. He wasn't called Sid Vicious in WWF. So I'll just say Psycho Sid and Tatanka lost to Bam Bam Bigelow and Diesel. That was the main event. And it was not good. But the booking in 95 was not very good at all in WWF, so I don't know what the hell else they were supposed to do. The main event, I guess, should have been the King of the Ring finals, but the crowd would have shit all over it because they didn't care about the finals. I mean, you can't go to these cities on the East Coast which have hardcore, die-hard wrestling fans, hardcore WWE fans. Can't go to cities like Boston, New York, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Manhattan, wherever the hell the show's held in the East Coast. You can't go to these cities and put on a boring, fucking lame ass show and lame ass pay-per-view. If you do, the fans will kill the show and take it over and do whatever they want, and they'll start every chant they want if the show sucks. So my point is, King of the Ring 95 sucked, and Philadelphia did not enjoy it, and I'm glad they chanted ECW. And hopefully SummerSlam this year does not suck, because the fans in Brooklyn will definitely let WWE know if it does suck. So that was King of the Ring 95. Not a very good show. Out of every single match, the only match I enjoyed was Shawn Michaels and Kama. And the rest I didn't enjoy. They were boring. In Your House 2, number 2, took place July 23rd, 95, from Nashville, Tennessee. Here we go. The Roadie defeats the 1-2-3 Kid. It was an okay match. Men on a Mission defeat Razor Ramon and Savio Vega. It was an okay tag match. I don't know what else to say about it. A lot of these matches were not very good on In Your House, early In Your House pay-per-views. They were not very good. Especially on In Your House 2 and 3 and 4. In Your House 5 in December 95 had a good main event. British Bulldog versus Bret Hart for the title. Bret Hart was bloodied up and was bleeding a lot during it. Okay, up next, Bam Bam Bigelow defeats Henry Godwinn. No one cares. Shawn Michaels defeated Intercontinental Champion Jeff Jarrett to win the Intercontinental Championship. That was awesome. As a fan, I cared about it, and I was a huge Shawn Michaels fan after he won and beat Jeff Jarrett. Owen Hart and Yokozuna defeat Lex Luger and Davey Boy Smith. And the main event was WWF Champion Diesel defeats Psycho Sid in a lumberjack match. It only went 10 minutes, 33 seconds. It was not very good, but I don't know what else you expect two big guys like Kevin Nash and Psycho Sid to do. They're two giants, and they couldn't do much in the ring. But it was decent, but it was also pretty boring. But it was also 1995. What the hell? You couldn't have that high expectations for awesome main event pay-per-view championship matches, because there weren't that many at all, except Bret Hart and Diesel at Royal Rumble 95 and Bret Hart versus Diesel again at Survivor Series 95 were good matches. So that was In Your House number 2. As I said, Diesel retained, beating Psycho Sid. Now I'm going to talk about Bash at the Beach from WCW. Bash at the Beach 1995 took place in Huntington Beach, California, on a real effing beach. It was ridiculous, but I understand it and I get it, because the show's called Bash at the Beach, so why not have a pay-per-view on a real effing beach? Okay, fine. It looked good on TV, watching the show outside. The sun was basically out the entire pay-per-view, on the ring, probably burning the wrestler's skin, and they probably all got sunburned. But whatever. The concept to put it on the beach for a live pay-per-view, as I said, it looked good on television, but it's a stupid idea because the fans there, they didn't even care about the show. They didn't even get into it. They were a weak-ass, lame-ass crowd. As I said, I don't think even half of them were real wrestling fans. Anyways, you had a camera shot from above the ring on the beach. I'm sure it was a camera shot from a helicopter or a blimp that WCW paid for. Anyways, they had the camera shot down on the beach, on the ring, and the crowd around the ring looked like only 2,000 to 3,000 people. Actually, I think I can look up the crowd that was there because it was small. And Tony Schiavone, I'm sure he was told to say this on commentary, but the dumbass starts saying, "We're live on the beach in front of 100,000 people. Over 100,000 people are in attendance for Bash at the Beach." And that's a fucking straight up lie. There was not 100,000 people there. There's no way in fucking hell there was 100,000 people there, because when you showed the camera shot from the helicopter or the blimp, the people only looked like it was 2,000 or 3,000 goddamn people, maybe 5,000, but that's it. And I bet all those people on the beach did not even pay for any tickets, because WCW was known for giving away free tickets at the doors for their pay-per-views. A lot of them. Especially in the dying days. In 2000, in 2001, they were giving away tickets to their pay-per-views because they couldn't fill the fucking building. Half of the seats were empty. And they didn't want it to look bad on pay-per-view, so they give away free tickets. I'm sure these people that attended Bash at the beach did not pay for any tickets. They probably were just given free tickets or free wristbands and said, "Go, if you want to go on the beach, there's a live wrestling show going on. You can go watch it for free." Because I don't think anybody would pay even $20. Maybe some would pay $20 or whatever to stand on the... I don't think they had any seating because everybody was standing the entire pay-per-view. So I don't think you paid $20 to stand for 3 hours in the hot ass fucking sun, standing on the burning ass sand to watch a wrestling pay-per-view. I would not do that. I'm not going to stand out in the heat on a beach and stare at a ring. I would only do that if it was a WrestleMania. That's the only way I would stand on a beach for 3 hours in the burning hot sun. I would only do that if it was a WrestleMania show being put on a beach. So I'm going to look up the attendance for Bash at the Beach. Bash at the Beach, 95. 10,000. 10,000 people were there. Good for them. I bet not one of them paid for a damn ticket. They probably all got in free. So, not a bad crowd, but they only drew 10,000 because they saw a wrestling event live for free on the beach. Because the rest of WCW's attendance was not very good in 95. It got much better in 96. But their next pay-per-view, Fall Brawl, would only draw 6,500 people, and World War III would draw 12,000. So that's a decent crowd. And Starrcade 95 only drew 8,200. So, back to after I ripped WCW for putting Bash at the Beach on the beach. And I would really like to find out if any of those people really paid for tickets, because I don't think they did. Because who in the fuck would? I wouldn't, unless it was WrestleMania on a beach. Bash at the Beach, July 16th, 95. Right before, I think, it was a week before In Your House 2 was WCW Bash at the Beach 95. Pay-per-view kicked off with Dick Slater and Buckhouse Buck defeating Marcus Alexander Bagwell and Alex Wright. U.S. Champion Sting defending the championship against Meng. He would defeat Meng and retain in 15 minutes 31 seconds. As I said in my last video of part 2, Sting and Meng had great matches together and they worked very well together. Up next, the television champion Renegade, the Ultimate Warrior ripoff, defeated Paul Orndorff. Kamala. Up next, Kamala defeated Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And I can't believe Kamala was hired by WCW. He was a part of the Dungeon of Doom for a little while, and then he was gone. I guess Hulk Hogan got Kamala in WCW. I'm pretty sure he did. So that just tells you maybe Hulk Hogan isn't racist, because he got Kamala in WCW, and other people have on the internet I've read have came out for Hogan and supported him. George Foreman, Dennis Rodman, Kamala supported him on the internet, and I'm sure Hogan got Kamala in WCW. So maybe Hogan is not a racist, people. And I'm not saying he isn't or he is. I don't know. I don't know the man. I'm not going to judge Hogan just because he's recorded secretly. I'm not going to judge him for that. It's none of my business what Hogan's feelings are towards different races. I'm just here to talk about wrestling. And I'm pretty damn sure that Hogan got Kamala a job in WCW. So just think about that, everybody. And judge for yourself what kind of person Hulk Hogan is. Up next, Diamond Dallas Page defeated Dave Sullivan. DEP was not over yet, and nobody really cared about this match. World Tag Team Champions Harlem Heat retained the titles in a triangle match. They were calling it a triangle match. Back in 95 is really a three-way match. Three-way dance. ECW, in my opinion, started the three-way matches. The triple threat matches, they started them. They called them the three-way dances. Or the three-way dance. Then WCW ripped it off and started calling it the triangle match. And then WWF took that idea and used it in 97 when they started doing triple threat matches. But I'm not going to rip WCW for taking the triangle match idea, because if they wouldn't have, WWF would have. And everybody started copying off of everybody. Because, whatever, there are three main companies around and everybody stole from everybody. Where the hell was I? Okay, Harlem Heat, as I said, retained and defeats the Nasty Boys and Bobby Eaton and Lord Steven Regal in a triangle match to retain the WCW Tag Team Championships. Macho Man Randy Savage defeated Ric Flair in a lumberjack match on the beach. WCW World Champion Hulk Hogan defended the championship against Big Van Vader in a steel cage match, and Hulk Hogan again would defeat Vader. I forgot that in 95, just let me tell you this, Hogan defeated Vader at Super Brawl, I think, by disqualification. Then he defeated him at Uncensored, and then Hogan defeated him again in a tag match against Vader and Randy Savage. So that's 3 pay-per-views in a row where it was Hogan and Vader. And then for the 4th pay-per-view in a row, Hogan worked with Vader again and defeated him again, and Vader could not beat Hogan for the world title. And we all know why that is. Because Hogan had creative control in his contract. And I'm not going to bash Hogan and say he should have jobbed to Vader and put Vader over. If you all had creative control, I think you would probably get a big ego if anybody had creative control, and they would probably say no to jobbing to a lot of guys and putting a lot of guys over. They'd probably say, no, I'm not doing it. Maybe another reason Hogan did not want to put Vader over and give him a world title, because he had in mind for losing and having the Giant beat him at Halloween Havoc for the WCW Championship. So maybe that's why Hogan did not want to lose to Vader, because he had in mind that he wanted to lose it to the Giant and put the Giant over in his first match. Because Halloween Havoc was the Giant's WCW pay-per-view debut, and it was his first match, and he defeated Hogan in his first match for the world title. Pretty good start to a career doing that. Okay, Bash at the Beach. As I said, Hulk Hogan retained and defeated Vader in a steel cage, and it was an okay match. I don't know what else you expect from Hogan and Vader, because Hogan could not do that much wrestling in the ring. And Vader and Hogan together, they did not click. They didn't really click and have good matches together. Their styles were just way different, and they did not work well together. So that was Bash at the Beach 95. Hopefully this video ends within 8 minutes, because I still have to talk about... Now I'm going to talk about SummerSlam. WWF SummerSlam 95 took place from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the crowd was pretty good in Pittsburgh. There's pretty good wrestling fans that live there. First match of SummerSlam 95 was Hakushi defeating the 1-2-3 Kid, and they had a good match. It would set a good pace to kick off SummerSlam. It was a very good match. 2 young guys, and Hakushi and 1-2-3 Kid were definitely in their prime in 95. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, I believe in his WWF pay-per-view debut, defeats Bob Sparkplug Holly. The Smoking Guns defeat Eli and Jacob Blue. They were the Harris brothers later on in WCW, and they were the DOA and the WWF with the bikers gimmick, where they ride their motorcycles down to the ring in the Attitude Era. And they also were in ECW as the Bruise Brothers. And then they would also show up in WCW. I think their name was Creative Control, or some stupid name they gave them. And then they also were in TNA for a little bit as the Harris Brothers. And they're there's really big guys, were the Harris Brothers, Jacob and Eli Blue. They looked like scary guys. I'm sure they're both tough as hell, and I would not want to get in a fight with one of those guys in a dark alley. So, Smoking Guns defeat Jacob and Eli Blue, the Harris brothers. And they had really long hair at Summerslam 95. They did not have their bald heads. They had really long hair, and it looked wild. They looked like mountain men. Like out of the goddamn mountains. Up next, Barry Horowitz started getting over a little bit. They gave him a little bit of a push. They had him defeat Skip of the Body Donis on a Superstars. So, Barry Horowitz got a spot on SummerSlam 95. I still can't believe that. But he did, because they were trying to push him. I don't know why, but they were. They probably were because it was 1995 and they didn't know what the hell else to do. So Barry Horowitz would defeat Skip after Hakushi interfered. And Skip was with his girlfriend. Chris Candido was Skip. He's with his real life girlfriend Sunny. She was his manager and she was smoking hot. When she came into the WWF, she was hot. She was cute and hot looking in 95. But in 96, she got even hotter looking. She was smoking hot. Really, really pretty face Sunny had in 96. And she had a smoking hot body in 96 and 97. Even 98, when she worked in ECW at November to Remember 98 as a special guest referee, she still had a smoking hot ass body. But anyways, I'm done talking about Sunny for now. It's a shame how far she has fallen. It's a damn shame. She keeps getting in trouble and whatever. She keeps getting drunk drivings, and she's been in rehabs like 7 times and it never works on her. WWE has stopped paying for her rehabs. I'm sure because they're sick of it. WWE has probably paid over $100,000 to try to keep Sunny clean and make her get clean. And it's not working. So I don't blame them. And I used to be a huge fan of Sunny when I was freaking 96. I was 12 years old. I was a huge fan of hers. But it's really sad how far she has fallen. I'm done talking about her now. Up next, Bertha Faye, the giant fat chick that was a wrestler in the WWF for a very short time. Bertha Faye defeated women's champion Alundra Blaze, Alundra Blaze was Medusa from WCW. And she also was Medusa in the AWA. So Bertha Faye would become the new women's champion in 95. And if the champion wasn't Alundra Blaze, I don't think anybody cared. Because nobody in 95 really cared about women's wrestling like they do now. I can damn sure tell you in 95 I did not care about women's wrestling. But 20 years later, in 2015, I do care about it a lot. And I do support women's wrestling a lot. I love it. And I love the great talent. And I love the talented women that can actually wrestle in the WWE and in NXT. I love them. And I love that they're getting a push because they deserve it. They definitely deserve a big push on the main roster. The divas should be showcased way more often. Definitely on 3-hour Monday Night Raws, you could give them 2 or 3 diva matches on that Raw because it's so goddamn long. So hopefully the divas revolution continues for years and years and years because I support the talented divas. I'm talking about Alicia Fox, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Paige, Sasha Banks, Naomi, Tamina. They have talent. I don't want to say the Bellas. I mean, the Bellas aren't bad wrestlers, but I'm just not a fan of them as wrestlers. I'm not a fan of the Bellas. Sorry. I'm a fan of them on Total Divas. They're much better on Total Divas than in the ring. Who else? Emma. She deserves a push. Bailey deserves it. Some other, what's her name? Jessie McKay. I think that's her name. A new NXT diva. She deserves it. I saw her in Shimmer. Women athletes for a long time. She's a great worker. The other chick, some new diva in NXT, I can't remember her name, but she was a great indie worker. Who else am I missing? The divas that I think have talent. I'm not going to say Eva Marie because she's not proven it to me yet. I have to see her for like over a year wrestling and being successful and putting on good matches. I have not seen that from Eva Marie yet. I can't leave out Natalia. Natty. She is great. She's one of the best workers and women's wrestlers that WWE has. She also follows me on Twitter, so I love her for that. Who else am I missing? I said everybody that I think has talent. Natalia, Alicia Fox, Paige, Charlotte, Bailey, Sasha, Naomi, Tamina, whoever else, Emma. That's what I think should all be, that all has great talent and should be getting pushed. But in 95, I don't think the fans cared about women's wrestling like they do now. And I'm glad the fans actually care and want to see more of the talented divas get a push and get showcased way more on WWE television. Back to SummerSlam 95. The Undertaker defeats Kama in a casket match. Kama took the Undertaker's urn and burned it down and made it into a gold chain. So he's wearing the Undertaker's urn as a gold chain. I believe Paul Bearer got it back and was holding it up, and it gave the Undertaker power, so he defeats Kama in the casket match. Wasn't very good, but it wasn't bad either. It was entertaining. Bret Hart defeated Isaac Yankem by disqualification after Jerry Lawler interfered, and this match was absolutely crap. It was just bad and boring and just a Isaac Yankem god-awful gimmick. And I don't know why they put him on SummerSlam to work with Bret Hart. Nothing against Glenn, who was Isaac Yankem, playing that character. And Jerry Lawler brought him in to take out Bret Hart, and he was the evil, mean, nasty dentist that basically butchered his patient's teeth. And it was a god-awful gimmick. Ugh. I hated Isaac Yankem, and I hated his gimmick. And I hated his theme music. Just listen to his theme music. It's like it's a drilling noise that you hear at the dentist's office. I hate that noise. So, I hated Isaac Yankem. I hated the character, and I hated his fucking annoying theme music. It was awful. So, good thing Bret Hart won, but I didn't care about this match. Up next, in the rematch, the ladder, they were calling it the ladder match of the century, the rematch. The Intercontinental Championship was on the line. Shawn Michaels was defending against the bad guy, Razor Ramon, in a WrestleMania 10 rematch. I thought this match is underrated. I think, if you watch it back, I think it's a really good ladder match. And of course, how could it be a bad one when you have guys like Scott Hall and Shawn Michaels working together at a pay-per-view They are both fantastic, great wrestlers and very, very good workers. So I don't see how you could have a bad match. With the ladder involved, it just made it better. So I enjoyed the ladder match at SummerSlam 95. And Shawn Michaels retained the Intercontinental title. In the main event, which was garbage and crap and stupid and boring, and I don't think anybody cared about it. Nothing against Mabel. Rest in peace, Mabel. Nothing against Kevin Nash as champion. It's just, I'm sure a lot of people were fans of Diesel. I was a Diesel mark. Even though I never bought any Diesel merchandise, they would sell that black glove of Diesel. I never bought it. And they had Diesel shirt out and Diesel sunglasses. I never bought any Diesel merchandise. But I was a fan of his. I did buy a Diesel home video, the best of Diesel in 95 at a Best Buy. Anyways, I'm going on way too fucking long. Diesel defeats Mabel, the newly crowned King of the Ring winner, King Mabel. Diesel defeats him and basically shits all over the King of the Ring winner. Why did he win the King of the Ring? Just to lose and job. Because he jobbed to Diesel. Later on in the year, at In Your House, he would job to The Undertaker in a casket match. I believe, Undertaker defeated King Mabel in a casket match at the December 95 pay-per-view. And then you have him job to Diesel. So, I didn't understand that. Because, why in the fuck did you have him win the King of the Ring? Just to do jobs like, I guess, like what King Barrett is doing now, just jobbing. Anyways, I enjoyed 1, 2, 3 Kid and Hakushi at SummerSlam. That was good. And I also enjoyed the ladder match. That was great. So the rest of SummerSlam was not great. It was a failing grade. Or maybe it was out of a grading it, I would give it a C. I'd give it a C. I'm done talking about SummerSlam 95. I talked about Bash at the Beach from WCW. I talked about In Your House, number 2. And I talked about King of the Ring and SummerSlam. This ends the year in wrestling 1995, part 3. I'll be back with another new video on the year in wrestling probably in 2 days, 2 or 3 days. Hope you enjoyed it. Follow me on Twitter at TNAWWE Guy. That is me. Thanks for watching. If you did sit through this long ass video, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much. Thanks. Bye for now.